Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with jazz drummer Sherri Maricle on the 2020 CD 3D Jazz Trio. We caught up with her in May of 2020 to discuss her new venture with this trio, what she's been doing during the COVID-19 lockdown, and so much more. Enjoy. Before we really get into the new album, which I've really enjoyed, I just kind of want to know from you, early to mid-March, when did you start seeing this big, huge domino fall where we weren't going to have live music and everything was going to change, and we were going to look at mid-March as some time that will, a different time in America and the world?
Well, my last performance was March 10th, and I was in Iowa, and I had been on a little solo kind of tour in Iowa and Nebraska, and then came home, and immediately we had Diva, my big band, had a performance at 54 Below in New York with Maurice Hines on the 14th and 15th. That was immediately canceled. The whole next week, Diva was supposed to be recording our next live CD, Live from Dizzy's Club, and then that got all canceled. Then within less than a day, everything got canceled, at least through August. Every big festival, and some even into the fall. Some festivals have just completely shut down. It was really astounding, and just again kind of no words because we don't have any to know how to explain what our feelings are, besides the crippling financial problems that it's caused for so many of us musicians and entertainers and artists and other people. It's just not the emotional and mental stress of not being able to do what you've done your entire life is very surreal and Twilight Zone.
Well, and you're releasing an album during the pandemic. I Love to See Your Smile is the new album by the 3D Trio. Talk to me a little bit about the notion of releasing an album during a pandemic. I mean, obviously the architecture of people being able to listen a little bit more is there, but you can't back any of it live, and just kind of the artistic approach, just kind of the general overview of the release.
Well, we had the 3D Jazz Trio had so many performances booked throughout the summer, and it was going to be basically our CD release tour, for lack of, it wasn't a singular tour, but it was many small tours and a lot of dates, including the Great Gilmore Keyboard Festival, and runs all over the place. And just watching them all close, we said, well, we have our CD in the can, and the three of us have always agreed that part of our mission on stage, besides our incredibly passionate desire to swing as hard as possible, is we really do want to entertain the audience and see the audience walk away smiling and happy. And that's why we picked that title track, because we love that song. And now in this time, it wasn't going to stop us from releasing the disc, even though we have no way of performing. But we thought that message is still true. Much like we want to try to bring some smiles to people's lives, hopefully, even in the midst of all this crisis that we're all going through, mental, emotional, and otherwise.
Well, when we do get out of this and we do get back to live music, which will happen, it's just inevitable. Obviously, it's all ambiguous at this point. But when it happens, what do you hope both the musician and the audience realizes from this time away from live music?
Well, there's nothing like it. I've always said, even before the pandemic, especially if we're doing any educational-oriented conversations or workshops, I said what you're experiencing now when you're listening to a live performance is truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and it is, because obviously the solos are always different, and everything is once in a lifetime, and the unique, special nature of that only comes from jazz performers who are constantly recreating and reinventing and wanting to give to the audience. And this is the part where the audience comes in, and we're very, very inspired and responsive to the audience, and that changes the way we play all the time, every single time. So it's like this incredible partnership of energy exchange and synergy in the moment that creates the performance. And I know that I personally have always felt that way, and I know my colleagues in the 3D Jazz Trio do, and we will maintain that. And I hope, for people who, some people seem to be satisfied with some of the virtual performances or the layered things that people are doing with apps like Acapella, and other people are just this is not the same. I can't even watch these virtual things. They're terrible, and they're not. This is what I'm hearing from some fans and friends, and certainly those virtual performances are not terrible, but it's not. I can't say it's not real, because it is human beings playing music, but not really playing together in a live setting. It's strange. It's all strange. I hope everybody realizes just again, back to my original phrasing, the unique once-in-a-lifetime experience that performers and listeners have, when we're all together in the same place. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. Sherri, thank you for taking some time out. I just really wanted to kind of catch up about this COVID-19 world and the new album. So thanks for opening up about it. I'm looking forward to having it on the show. And be safe and good luck with the new release.
Thank you so much, and stay safe. And it was a great pleasure talking to you.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players and singers in New York, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. Thanks to Sherri for her time, music, and story. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino on the iTunes Store. Visit Neon Jazz at youtube.com, and for everything Neon Jazz all the time, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.